Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. My name's Danny, this is Crafty the Sculpting. In this week's video we're heading back to the world of Call of Duty. As you may well have known, there's been a new Call of Duty game come out within the last couple of months, or just before Christmas, and they've reintroduced the zombies side of things again with some new characters involved, one of which being a spider-like creature called a vermin. Now in this week's video that's exactly what we're going to be making. We're going to be making this spider-like creature called the vermin. And yeah, he's rather grim and gruesome and not very nice. Alright, so before we get into the video, I'd like everyone to hit that like and subscribe button if you would. It'd help me out massively. Still trying to get up to 500 subs at the moment if you're watching this before I hit 500. But yet we are closing in pretty fast. So anyway, like and subscribe and we'll see you shortly in a minute. See you in a sec. Right, so the armature on this one is going to be tinfoil. We're just going to scrunch this up how we see fit into the shape that we want, which is going to be like a large cone shape, getting larger at one end and getting very, very thin down to a point at the other end. As you can see, there we have the generic shape that we need. We're going to add a bit more foil to that before we cover it in clay. There we go, and we're going to get one little thin layer of clay on it first of all, just so we can get our shape, get it all figured out how we want it, get it all shaped before we put him in the oven for the first time. So yeah, we're not being too worried about what it looks like at the moment, all the lumps and bumps in there, that will all get sorted out later. But there we go, let's just add a quick covering and now we can start to bend and shape the tail end of our vermin. There we go, now that that's done, we can put him in the oven. Right, he's been in the oven, he's all hardened up as you can see there. Now we are just going to put some liquid clay on before we put a second layer of clay over the top. I'm just going to brush that in quickly, and I won't bother showing you putting the next bit of clay on because it's just literally a second coat. But there it is, all completely done, and as you can see by the end there, you can just see that second coat that's on there, but we're now going to cut out that end bit. As you can see, we've just cut that out to make way for the head, which can push further in because he's got a big wide mouth which opens up. But we've just got this big ball of cosclay, and we're just going to work that into shape and then smoosh that in place. There we go, working it into that bit that we've already cut out, and all become clear soon. And now we've got that into place, we can just start working it into the body. Now the backstory of these are they actually pop out of the zombies themselves. So the bit where you can see I'm just rubbing it up there, that is going to be a face, which is the face of the zombie. Then they come out of like the actual spine area, and hence that's why they are what they are. Anyway, let's get on with the actual face of the vermin, and we're just going to open up a big mouth first of all, just pulling it all open. We can remove a little bit of the inside in a moment and just get everything shaped out as we see fit. Yep, my camera work's still not the best. I do apologise for that. I'll get there eventually. But yeah, it's starting to take shape. It looks a bit more like something else at the moment, I won't say what. But yeah, as you can see there, I'm now starting to squish right in where the actual throat of the thing would be. And just trying to get some general shaping of what the inside of the mouth would be like before working in the gums, using the sausages of clay. Do the top and the bottom. And there we go, once we've done that we're just going to get this ball stylus and get everything worked in and make it look a little bit more gummified. And this one doesn't have to be perfect, he's a bit of a mess, so yeah, we don't care if it's all scratched up and it's not 100% smooth. Right, now we're going to move on to some teeth. As you can see, I've got my little ceramic dish there, and we're just going to push out these little triangular shapes for the actual teeth themselves. They can be all different shapes and sizes, they don't have to be perfect. There we go, making plenty of them. Make more than what you generally need. You might break one or two as you're trying to push them in, or later on after they've cured. So yeah, I generically always make a few more than I need. Now, as I was saying earlier, it's got a face on the top of it where this thing is actually pulled out from the actual face of the actual zombie itself. So we're just going to do a basic skeletal sort of shape face. And it all comes together eventually. It looks more like a ghost at the moment, but yeah, it should all come together soon. We do add a little bit more claying around where the chin would be. But yep, just opening up the mouth at the moment and the eyes. Just working it around. Again, doesn't have to be too pretty at the moment. As you can see, it's slowly starting to take shape. Right, now we're just going to push in the inside, really make that mouth a lot bigger. And do the same with the eyes, just keep opening them up. Using different tools just to get the shape that we need. There we go, it's all a trial and error, but we're getting there slowly. Right, once we've done that, we want to get him some teeth into place. So we've done a long sausage of clay like this, and we're just going to work it in so it goes from the back round the front in that sort of like horseshoe shape. Right, once we've got that pushed in, we can then start trying to just carve in where the teeth would be. I'm just using a knife for this at the moment. Again, need to work on my skills a little bit with teeth. They're not my forte. Nothing's really my forte at the moment, you know. As I say, I've only been doing this about 3 years now, so I think I've come a long way in the 3 years that I've been doing this. Now we're just going to work in my tongue in. Yeah, that's all I'm doing, guys. I'm just showing you my journey along the way. But now we've done that, we are literally just going to mark in where the teeth are going to go. Just makes it a little bit easier to slot the teeth in. Using different size ball styluses. Don't know why I kept flipping it around, but hey ho, that's what I've done in the moment. As you can see, the majority of this one's made out of cos clay. You can see the boxes on the side there. And now we're just getting them teeth pushed into place. Can use a little bit of liquid clay there if they're feeling a little bit loose. Just help bond everything in. There we go, it's starting to come together. Get the bottom row in before we get the legs. Now the legs cause me major problems on this. As you can see, I've started cutting and shaping the legs individually, where in hindsight maybe I should have actually wrapped it around the body before I put the clay on originally and locked everything into place, because these legs were moving about all over the place and I didn't know how to lock them into place. As you can see, I'm using toothpicks there, or more like matchsticks, shaving down one end so it's more like a toothpick and then pushing them into place just to help lock that armature wire into place. Sorry if I'm sounding a little bit throaty at the moment. I've just literally got over the flu and my throat isn't quite back to normal yet. But anyway, back to getting these legs into place, and yeah, as you can see, yeah, they're very floppy and moving around all over the place. But as I say, with the actual matchsticks there, it did help a little bit. But now we've found the actual general shape that we want, we're going to take them back out. I've wrapped a little bit of tin foil around them and then a tiny bit of clay just to give a little bit of stability and something for the main part of the clay to grip onto later on. So as I say, it's a very, very thin bit of clay here. I'm not worried about what it looks like too much as long as it's flat. And then they're going to get baked as is before we put them back into place and we add more clay later. Right, now that they've been baked, they look absolutely horrible at the moment, but then we can now start working on a thicker bit of clay over the top, which actually locks everything into place later on. Right, as you can see, that's how the legs are, looking a little bit thicker now. Now we're just using this tool just to go around and put in all the joints around the actual knees and the actual articulated parts of the legs. There and there, we've got to do some more, and then it should end up looking a bit like this by the time we're finished. Right, now I've made this tool I've used on other models in the past. Now it's just going to give a bit of a sort of a texture that I can put over the legs and bits of the body, almost like a scaly effect, before we can actually work on these little spines. Now I've just rolled these out using my finger and thumb to get one end thicker than the other, as you can see there, and we're literally just going to plonk that in place there before getting a thin sausage of clay. If I stop messing about with it, there we go, there's the thin sausage of clay. I'm just going to wrap that around the base, pulling off any excess that we don't need, and then getting this very small spoon tool, and then just literally just blending that into the one into the spine and secondly into the leg, so it looks like it's all part of one thing. As you can see there, I've just zoomed in for you so you can see exactly what I'm doing there and the end outcome. And there we go. Right. Another 5 more legs to do that onto. Right, now I want to try and get like a ripped skin almost feel to this, so I've dug in quite deep using various different tools before going over with isopropyl alcohol. Bit of a mouthful of a word to say that. And as you can see, it's giving that sort of ripped skin effect. And I thought it came out pretty well. What do you think, guys? Leave a comment below, let us know what you think. Again, just messing about with different ideas and seeing if they work or not. And I think that came out pretty well. Right, for the rest of the body, the main part of the back, as you can see, I'm just literally using this bit of clay just to block it out a little bit before we put all of these welts and spots and bits and pieces all bursting out of the skin. Told you it was a grim boy. So we're just going to add a load of them into place. Now to lock all these in, we're just going to use a very, very, very thin bit of clay that I've put through the thinnest part of the pasta machine that I can. Got it as thin as I can, and we're just going to work that into place using this silicone tool. Again, doesn't have to be too pretty. We get all that worked in, and you can see the effect that it's giving there, that it looks like it's all pushing out from underneath the actual skin itself. Right, now I'm trying this new liquid clay with a very thin nozzle, just to try and get all the veiny bits on the skin. And we're just haphazardly just going to go all the way over. Again, doesn't have to be pretty, just get it in there. All over the body, and as that bakes, that will just give that slightly raised area to it. Right, now with the tongue, we've just quickly moulded out a tongue, and we've just temporarily put that into place there for the moment. That'll be coming back out, so it's easier for me to paint. But now he's been finally baked, we can start getting on with the paint. Now we're going to be giving them an undercoat in this barbarian flesh. If I remember rightly, I did add a tad of white to it just to really brighten it up a little bit before moving on to a pinky for the mouth. And then with this one, we've done quite a bit of dry brushing. So I started off with this purpley sort of red, can't remember the actual colour, dragon's blood I believe, but then we're going over with contrast paints as well, so we're literally going to paint that into place. We're going to dab off the worst of that with a paper towel. There we go with a paper towel, and then finally we're just going to rinse some of that off with some water. Right, the camera does make that look a lot more stronger than it actually is, that colour. It doesn't look quite as dark as that in real life. But yeah, back with the dry brushing. Just getting various different reds and pinks and a few little off whites in there as well before we come on to the varnish. And we're going to do all around the inside of the mouth and the gums and the tongue with the varnish. And I believe I even done some of the warts as well. Right, now we're going to stick his tongue into place. Now that's stuck down, we're going to come back with that glue and just very gently just touch it between all the teeth like that, just to make it look like stringy saliva. Right, onto the base. Literally just going to, it's a nice simple base this one, just going to undercoat it in a greeny browny colour before moving on with fake grass. PVA glue all over, brush all that in, and then we can go over the grass applicator. Use various different coloured grasses on this and just blending them all into one. Scatter around some little rocks, scenery rocks, and then we finally can get him glued into place. Anyway guys, this one is now done. I hope you like it. Leave a comment down below what you think, and I hope to see you very soon on the next one.